let's get into the topic. So, some of you could be wondering, like, why identity shifting? I don't know if y'all have remembered. Lately, I've really been pushing the agenda of innovation and upgrades. We know Pluto in Aquarius is here. Now, that energy is not necessarily set in stone because I believe if not next month, I should look this up, but if not, like, I think next month, the month after next, I know Pluto goes back into Capricorn for like a month or two, but pretty much for the next decade and some change or two, Pluto's going to be in Aquarius. Aquarius energy is going to highlight, I want to focus on these three main aspects: technology, innovation, and intellect. And if you, I don't really like to fearmonger, so I don't want you guys to take this the wrong way. But if you have not noticed, even news articles will point this out. It's kind of getting to a point to where they really are trying to like delete the middle class, right? And so knowing that we have to really identify and tap into what keeps us separated. And that's going to mainly be an intellect. You guys have to make sure you're keeping up with whatever necessary knowledge is possible. And so you want to make sure you're identifying as a person who does that. You need to start shifting your identity to keep up with what's going on. Because I know, like, speaking of religion, and I hope I don't ruffle no feathers with this, but when people talk about, oh, the rapture, Jesus come back, the rapture is gonna be when it gets to a point to where it's like the haves and the have-nots, and you want to make sure you've built up a point to yourself to where you're emotionally regulated, you're able to trust in your intuition, and you have the knowledge to be able to provide for yourself. Giving an example, thinking about the pandemic and when people was getting left go left and right, it's like it was a scary time for some people, and a lot of businesses shut down, but a lot of businesses did thrive. And so you guys essentially, you want to identify as someone who is sovereign, that energy of freedom, and hopefully today can be a catalyst for that. Okay, so let's get into it. Briefly, some of the objectives. So I'm going to be focused on the difference between your subconscious and your conscious. We're going to briefly talk about the quantum, and then I'm going to propose some solutions before we get into the collective reading. Another disclaimer, remember, I cannot see any of y'all comments. So if you have a question, I would prefer you hold it to the end and then you can come off mute. Okay. So Joe Dispenza, he talks a lot about neuroscience and how we can basically create a new reality by shifting our personality, which y'all hear me say a lot. And just a reminder, we cannot create a new future while we're living in the past. And so this is huge when it comes to your identity in terms of how you're showing up. A lot of you associate with this left side, that old age programming, trying to like force your way really heavy in your masculine energy to make these actions, and then hoping that, you know what, when I act, I'm gonna keep it up. It's gonna be a habit. Then it's gonna be a belief. And then no, that's not how it works. We have to really get to the root and pay attention to what we identify as. Like, what is your identity? What stories do you hold on to? I know somebody personally who has not, and it is a very unfortunate circumstance, but I know somebody personally who has not been able to get over the killing of their mother, right? Their mother was killed at a young age. So ever since they were that age, they've identified with struggle. Because they identify with struggle, that's what their reality is. And so I want everybody to kind of reflect on their reality. And this is also a shadow work prompt you can do. Hopefully, you guys, well, it'll be recorded. You don't have to take notes, but just keep this in mind. What do I identify with that is reflected in my reality? Clear as day. Do some of you identify with living paycheck to paycheck? Do some of you identify with having just enough? Do some of you identify, like, the story goes on and we are here to start rewriting that? It can be a really emotional time when you sit in that energy and even think about the roots or the causes or what has been the reason you've held on to this, but it is something that is necessary for you to shift the trajectory of your life moving forward. Okay. So when we think of the conscious and the subconscious, going back to that original diagram with the actions, I need you to realize when you kind of start with actions, you're really working from the conscious mind. And on the subject of our mind, the conscious mind really makes up about 12%, which is the analytical part, thinks and plans, short-term memory. Even when you think about school, school mainly works the conscious mind. But in actuality, the subconscious is running the show. This is the long-term memory. This is the emotions and the feelings and the habits and the relationship patterns. That's why some of you could manifest different relationships that have the same lesson. Different people, though, different seasons, but same lessons. Addictions. It could be simple things like being addicted to screen time, addicted to your phone, addicted to things that could be worse than that. Involuntary body function, so breathing. And when you think about it, sometimes it could feel discouraging because you're like, the subconscious mind, I mean, how do I undo what's already been done? But just how your body is able to breathe on go. Because if we were manually responsible for breathing, some of us probably would have passed out by now because our thoughts are all over the place. So knowing that the subconscious is on autopilot, know that once you rewire this, it's going to be a way easier autopilot for you. It's just about really getting into the nitty gritty and getting into that nitty gritty. Look at the left side, what you eat. I say this all the time, what you eat, what you eat, what you eat. There are times when, like, if I have a morning client, I'm probably not going to eat because I know I channel better on an empty stomach. And I started to ask myself, like, why do I channel better on an empty stomach? Even for the person who's on here at 4 a.m., when they think about that time between 3 a.m. to 5 a.m., some have called it the witching hour, that time when essentially your brain's Wi-Fi signal is the strongest. That's not a coincidence. We are naturally wired to tap in. However, modern day society has really embedded a lot to strengthen that disconnect. And so, starting with the foods that we eat, I know some of y'all don't want to hear this, but you need to back up off the, you really need to back up off the meat, but I'm not gonna go there. We're just gonna start off with like lessening it, red meat. Like, and I know some of y'all like, but it's plenty of successful people who eat steak and filet. Most of them aren't even on a level of consciousness that you're going to be on. Like, I know for everything I say, you can give me a counter, but we have to be for real and remember the standard we're working towards. And we're also not comparing ourselves to average Joes. We don't want to be with we don't want to be with losers, okay? And I hate to say it like that, but when I say loser, I'm talking about the mentality for people who settle, for people who just want to get by. That's not what we're striving for. So that's not what I'm going to compare to. Goals you set rewires your brain. I had somebody tell me literally today, they were like, yeah, I just hope I get these food stamps. I let it slide because I don't think it's not wrong with food stamps. Me personally, it would be cool to have some right now. But it was the comment after, and it was like, yeah, they were insinuating that they wanted somebody to just fund their lifestyle. And it's like, when you have a goal to be dependent, that is going to reflect in your actions. And I know that this, one second, this just popped up. Okay, the chat just popped up for some reason. Let me see. Yikes, why did I do that? Hold on. Okay, sorry. The chat had popped up, but it went away. And so, what was I saying? Okay, so yeah, giving an example, if you have a goal to be dependent, let's say I'm like, oh, my only goal is to have a husband who funds my lifestyle. While that's cool, my work ethic is going to reflect solely on getting that and not building my own independence. And so I always aid women, especially because that's majority of who I speak to. You want to be sovereign, live a life of freedom. So, because God forbid you depending on that man and he ups and leaves you. Now, granted, you can get another one, but it's just like I don't even feel like I attract people who on that type of timing. But I just like to throw that disclaimer out there. Going back to what I said earlier with the energy of intellect, each one of you on this call, you have a natural ability or talent to do something like literally nobody else on the planet. You have to make room for that. You have to tap into that. If you feel like you don't know what that is, that's fine. But you need to start eliminating things that are keeping you away from that. So, giving an example, partying, giving an example, going out and drinking all the time, smoking all the time. It's not necessarily terrible things before y'all try to attack me, because I know these are recreational activities, but if you are not in alignment, some of those things can keep you further off and you're wondering why your judgment is clouded. You haven't sat in stillness. This stuff really gets serious. You have to really get to a point to where you're willing to sacrifice almost anything. And one thing that you can even do to assist you with that energy of alignment is doing regular fast or detox, okay? So the habits we build, the way we exercise, the music. Okay. And I'm saying this as somebody who is Venetian, right? We have to realize, I'm not going to spend a long time on this topic, but the music, you guys, they purposely put this music on I think it's, I want to say it's 440, but I know one of them is like the 808. Like literally the 808 was what it does to the brain, what it does to the body is not beneficial for your awareness. I will say that. And so if that's all you're consuming 24/7, it's going to be a lot harder. And I'm bringing these things up because half of what I'm saying so far, this is on y'all day to day, right? And I need y'all to realize, like, when it comes to making these major choices, or you're at a crossroads and you really don't know what to do, you feel stuck. when your mind should be easily able to tap in. It can't because all of this BS we're feeding you on a day to day. And so I'm not telling y'all change your life completely, but you want to eliminate what you can. Like literally, your dedication is going to show up with this. I have not now granted, I call myself like a sometimetarian. Like 80% of the time I'm not eating meat. But at 20%, I really want me some oxtail and it's fine. I'm working on that. But I literally have not eaten meat for the past, I think like 2 weeks to prep for this call because I wanted the most clear mind. It's gonna get to a point to where like you're either dedicated or you're not. Like literally going down to the language you speak. When I did my August challenge, I had somebody slide up and say, "Oh, I'm gonna try." I said, "You're either gonna try it or you gonna do it. Like, which one is it?" And those are one of the people who's the first ones out. And I'm not saying like, "Oh, you didn't pass the challenge, you're not this," but your word is your wand. We have to make sure we are speaking the utmost positivity for ourselves because the thing is, some of y'all jokes, we're just gonna these narratives we're telling ourselves. But I'm gonna firstly speak on jokes. Some of y'all joke with yourself, but the subconscious doesn't know we're joking. Like I'm kind of at a point now with my friends. There's certain jokes I don't let slide. Like, why would you say that about yourself? Your subconscious don't think that's a joke. Oh yeah, bro, we ain't got no money. What? Your subconscious is gonna be like, hey, we ain't got no money. Let's make sure we move like we don't have money. Let's make sure we don't align ourselves to opportunities where we don't have money. I literally have a particular friend who I have not talked to because this person was always complaining. And it's going to get to that point, going back to the energy of the haves and the have nots. It's going to be some people, and I get it, a lot of us, most of y'all are in my age range, some of y'all older, some of y'all younger, but it's going to get to a point to where people are going to naturally start to separate themselves because you either own what I'm on and you're not. And if you're not trying, I can't make you try. And it's one of those things where think about the haves, they not gonna always pay for the have-nots. So they can't always do certain things that the have-nots will. And some people might look at, oh, you brag, you doing this, you doing that. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Why is it saying I have 11 minutes? What? Okay, 1 second.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. So getting into the narratives, I can't even remember what I was saying, but we have to realize the subconscious doesn't know jokes. And so, yes, while it's cool to joke here and there, we need to be cognizant of what we are saying. Like I say all the time, and especially when you continue to raise your frequency, I've literally manifested things that were not the best for me, but it's because I said it. Like, I remember one time I was saying, yeah, I'm not even finna say that, but I literally manifested like a medical condition because it was something I did not want to do. And instead of me standing up for myself and saying, hey, I don't want to do this, I got medically disqualified. But I put that energy out. And so going down to some of these things, some of you could identify with this. Oh, I'm too old for this. I don't have the resources. I met with the client and I showed her how to utilize a new AI to help her with automation. I believe it was like 2 weeks later, something I showed her, she comes back and say, "Hey, do you mind just doing it for me?" Now, I do my best to be understanding, but it's certain things that like we have to realize that mentality is not going to cut it with the way things are going. And I don't like to say it like it's a dog eat dog society because it does take a village, but there are certain things that I especially feel like again speaking to mostly women because um that's who most of my demographic is. We cannot handicap ourselves. Like we have to take notes, we have to show up, we have to practice, we have to rehearse, we have to do whatever it takes. You cannot just succumb to your reality. Okay. Some of you feel like, oh, that's just the way things are. And the subconscious is going to confirm that. So, starting today, remove certain words and phrases from your vocabulary. Even if you don't have what you need yet, I can assure you by confirming it in your subconscious, it's going to assist with speeding up that reality. Okay, so neuroscience and psychology. Again, what I just said, when we keep these thoughts up, your brain is going to open up neural pathways. And another way of breaking down neural pathways is just consider it a road in the brain. And so it's almost like when your body wants to learn how to swim. Once that neural pathway is created inside of the brain, it's going to become like second nature. We need to make sure we are embedding positivity within our brains, the highest of the highs of thoughts about ourselves, of our reality, like second nature. So, again, if you consistently think about positive thoughts and visualize success, you're going to strengthen those necessary neural circuits to support that achievement inside of your life. Okay, psychoneuroimmunology. This is really just a fancy word, and it's a way of saying your psyche is affected by your immunity. And I wanted to bring this up because I do feel like sometimes when we're reminded of the science behind what we're doing or how we move, we have a better tendency to show up or make whatever adjustments. So, again, thinking about how people are so stressed that their body has a stroke or their body shuts down or they can't move or they have these conditions, we have to realize that's why, like, I know some people may not resonate with the work that I do, but at the end of the day, it's all a form of wellness. If we're not prioritizing our wellness, we're going to be forced to make time for our sickness. So you want to make sure you're promoting your body with well-being in ample ways for your life. I'm going to speed it up because I'm a little behind for us to get on the track for 30-minute collective reads, but most of this is pretty simple. So, dopamine and reward pathways. I wanted to speak to this specifically because some of you may not understand why you are conditioned to doing certain behaviors or habits. So, giving a popular example, getting on your phone before bed. We are light beings. So, you being addicted to this light on the screen is not a terrible thing. That's your natural nature. But this is one of those skills where it's a lower version of dopamine. It doesn't matter if you're consuming conscious content, doesn't matter if you're consuming things you can learn from. The excessive screen time will continue to fog your third eye, right? And so, if the body has that pathway is rewarding, they're like, hey, we need to keep this up. This feels good. Just how some of y'all have a certain routine in the morning, you make this drink or you go get this drink, you go get this food. It's like it's a reward. And so, if you are rewarding your body with lower vibrational dopamine, that is what it's going to get used to. That's why I always try to tell people, especially if you're having trouble with remembering your dreams or your dreams don't make sense, that is not natural. And I need us to remember that society will try to normalize so many things that are not natural. And it's like, no. Now, granted, certain things it won't matter, but it's certain things we need to be aware of. And so, the dopamine you give your body before bed is what it's going to want when you wake up. So if you on your phone right before bed, you go to sleep, boom, you wake up, you reaching for your phone. That's a common habit that it takes conscious effort to break that, but that's just one of the many. And I also want you to think of certain things that you do that may not be the best for you, but it's like a reflex. Start to rewire that. Even if you start off small, like the average person, I'm not going to tell them to go meditate for an hour. That's kind of insane. It's not impossible, but it's insane. So, like, I'll tell some people, okay, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. Start small. Even if you feel like you be on your phone till you go to sleep, start with the last 30 minutes of your night. Again, these things may not be the easiest, but going back to those narratives we're telling ourselves, a lot of people on the subject of wellness will like to say, "Oh, it's hard to eat healthy. It's hard to deal with this ease. It's hard to be broke." At the end of the day, it's hard to do all these other things. So it's like at the end, I need y'all to pick your heart. Simple, pick your heart. Because after a while, the more you talk excuse, the more I stop listening. And so we just want to make sure we're setting our bodies up for success, okay? So, briefly going to speak on the quantum. I hope I'm not losing y'all because I know it's a lot of science, but this is just talking about the different realities that can exist. And so, you ever hear when some spiritual people are like, oh, the past, present time is a construct? That is quantum superposition when they're saying these particles can exist in multiple states. So, this idea can assist you because if you know that you have the millionaire lifestyle in one reality, the purpose of identity shifting is sit in that energy. What does that feel like for you? I really want y'all to grasp the feeling. Obviously, you may not know what that looks like if it's a far reach, but think about the last time you was fulfilled from money or work or relationships. Sit in that feeling. Visualize it. What does that version of you do? How do they act? How do they talk? How do they walk? What do they wear? You have to get specific as possible because slowly but surely, I want you to start taking food off that plate and embodying it now. I don't expect any of you to try to change yourself overnight, no, because that's how we end up back at that first thing. But you want to start to identify with that superhero you, whatever that looks like. And so that's how we entangle those timelines, which essentially just means collapse them and now it is here, it is the present. But visualization and embracing the feeling can assist you. So, going with these neural pathways to rewire these, we just want to make sure that we are starting new, affirming new. And eventually it'll get to a point to where it's a habit. Like there is no way I'm going to let myself insult myself and sit there like, "Oh, that was stupid." Nope. I'm like, oh, but I'll learn better next time. It is what it is. But at one point, I used to say some of the most crazy things to myself. And so I said that to say, like, because I know some people, they kind of look at me, I feel like kind of way higher than I actually am. And it's like, I'm just like y'all. But it comes to a point to where somebody may pass you. I look at people who way above me because of discipline, because of dedication. It's certain things that, like, I've had somebody, I said, meditate 10 minutes for 2 weeks. They didn't do it. That's fine. We said, do it again. They didn't do it. We have to show up. I can't, I'm not going to catch a flight to your house to make you show up. And it's that simple. You know, you have to meet your manifestations halfway. You have to show up ready to rewire this energy, whatever this looks like. Everybody has a new thing they're working on. So I want to leave y'all with this. I'm probably going to skip through the last slides because there's still some more. What do we do? We talked about everything we're doing wrong. What do we do right? Everybody knows, no matter the religion, no matter the spiritual belief, we have that God energy within us. Whatever you want to call it, that's fine. Please stop begging, asking, pleading. Fuck no, sorry, but no, stop doing that. I need y'all to think from a position of power and knowing, not begging. When I created this class, I'm not like, please come, somebody come. No, no, I knew people were going to show up because I knew I had to. I saw this before this happened. I didn't see the Zoom mess up, but I saw this before it happened. Whatever y'all want for yourself, I need y'all to sit in it. Before I got recurring clientele, I used to sit on my bed. We're gonna act like this my bed. I would sit on my bed and see people book, and I would see myself accept. And I sat in that feeling and it felt good. You have to, when people like fake it till you make it, that has some truth, but you have to meet that energy halfway. We're not fake. I'm not saying, oh, this is gonna happen. I don't do anything about it. No. You have to meet this energy halfway. And so I want to skip so like one last thing I want to say, when y'all pray, however y'all pray, don't know the religion, call it in. Instead of saying, God, give me a sign, please. No, I call in the energy of clarity. Whatever you want, call it in, command it in. Know who you are. That's when they talk about, oh, you don't know who you are. Some of y'all really don't know y'all power. But I'm gonna be honest, going back to the beginning, when you're eating processed foods, when you're not getting sleep, all of that is going to dent your power. So you're like, Kayla, I called it in, it didn't work. It is a process. This did not happen overnight. I was gifted my deck in 2020. Here it is, 2024, and I'm just now starting to see a little recurring clientele. That's 4 years of people like, oh, what the hell is she doing? 4 years of she, da, da, da. But it's like when you have to get to a point where you don't care. Simple, you just can't care. Literally. Like I don't care what your mama said, I don't care what your dad said, I don't care. Like my parents was the first people to look at me like I was crazy when I said I'm gonna do this. My mom like, why would you do that? You ain't gonna make no money. You ain't gonna. So like when it came to society trying to tell me something, gone. I really don't care. My parents broke my heart first. So it's like that ain't nothing. But when you send that energy of I'm gonna show you, and I don't have to talk about it. Oh, I'm getting hyped. My fault. Anyway, let me calm down. I need y'all to realize this is where some of y'all mess up. You do not need to conform to the 3D reality. So this is Tim the diabetic. I'm just giving a random example. So Tim wants to heal himself. He eats healthy. He says his affirmations for 2 weeks. He has a follow-up, and the doctor's like, yeah, we still see the diabetes. We still see the cancer. We still see the pneumonia, whatever. And he said, I knew this stuff don't work. This is stupid. A lot of you will find yourself on the right track, but you looking for proof. You looking for external validation. Remember, the physical is the slowest plane. When we're thinking about the dimensions, I'm not gonna go there, never mind. But just think about, you have to bring this energy down, right? It starts as an idea, and we're bringing this energy down. And typically, one easy way to do it is working with the 2D first. That's why, like, a lot of y'all need to write it down. Write it down. I've said this before. Write it down. Your identity shifting. You could write in that perspective. You can write bullets or affirmations for that. Write it down. The 2D is going to assist you with creating that 3D, but know that it is a trial and error process. It's not going to come like cake. The thing is, we are designed to rebalance. Our spirit beings, our soul beings, were designed to rebalance. That's why on Earth School, as some say, we face so much trial and tribulation, because that's kind of what we're here for. It's like a game. If you play in a video game, it's imagine GTA with no missions. I know some of y'all might not play that. I just thought of that. Imagine Sims with no tasks. It's like we just here. No, that's why we're going through what we're going through. We're supposed to overcome. So don't trip during the process. I said a lot to implement. This is just going over. When y'all plan, one thing that will help you is stepping stones. When my plan to go full time, I did not start this plan immediately when I was gifted a deck or even when I made my page. I knew over time this would come. This energy of gratitude is going to rewire you. The gratitude will assist you with neural pathways. I know that it's mundane, it's cliche, but it works. When y'all hear people, especially you think about the success stories, if you listen to a bunch of them, there's certain things that overlap. They're grateful. You have to take care of yourself. The thing is with the rest, if some of y'all are not having a good sleep schedule, your brain needs to clear out debris. And if you're not giving it the proper rest, the debris will clog up over time, which when I say a cloud of judgment, a lot of that is from your brain's debris not being cleared out. And you don't only do it during rest, but rest is a great way. One last thing I'm gonna say, we gotta stop this late night feasting. If you're eating full course meals at 10, 11 consistently, it's going to be a lot harder to clear out that debris in your brain because not only that, your body is now taking more time to digest this food when it should be cleaning itself out. Now they got to work hard to digest the wings and fries you just ate, knowing damn well you shouldn't have ate that at 10 o'clock. And it's just like we have to put ourselves in the position to succeed, okay? We need to be mindful of that. Does anybody have any questions? I really didn't get through everything, but I didn't want to talk your head off on this because we're going to get into the collective read. But do we have questions? You can put them in the chat or you can come off mute. No?
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
So you mentioned like figuring out who you are and like truly identifying yourself and everything. And do you have like, I guess, guidance or tips for somebody that is trying to figure out who they are, emerging from healing wounds and trauma, and like addressing and acknowledging like your inner child and realizing the trope of, okay, like, I mean, to your point, like, you know, my parents the first one that broke my heart, or just everything that you've gone through as a child. I think that's a bit of the stuck point that I'm at now, where I'm like, okay, I know the bad stuff, I just kind of don't know what to do, like to move forward, or just, you know, it kind of seems overwhelming because you want to pour good into you, but then, you know, to your point about, then it becomes, you're so cognizant about, okay, I want to make sure I'm doing the right, so then you start seeking external validation, or is this right, am I doing the right thing, or, you know, just stuff like that.
So for starters, I definitely feel that connecting more with the inner child, because for the most part, the inner child is probably one of the most confident version of ourselves. When you think about little kids, they wear some of the most outlandish things, but they don't care. They feel great. They'll do some of what could look like strange behavior in public, but it makes them happy. So doing inner child work for sure, and that can just simply mean invoking more activities that bring you play, pleasure, things of that. So some of what you just said, don't affirm that anymore. I have Trump, don't affirm it. I don't know who, don't affirm any of that. That's the first step because again, the subconscious hears we don't know who we are, so they're gonna make sure we don't know who we are. We're gonna keep that blockage up. And I know it could seem challenging because it's the reality. We can conform our reality around us. A lot of us fall victim to being like existing in the reality when your world needs to come around you. That's why they be like, oh, it's not your world. It is my world. That like the my world revolves around me based on how I speak. And so like everything you just said, you can write each of those out as a sentence or a bullet and then come up with an affirmation that counters that. So it's like, I'm not over my trauma. I have healed from my trauma and now progressed into a new timeline. Say that. Start rewriting the narrative for yourself. That is the easy way to start doing that. You may be too focused on the how, but just implementing that, eventually things will continue to align as long as you are finding balance with these other modalities, the eating, the sleeping, the resting. Because some people will be saying their affirmations and eating seafood boils every other day. And it's nothing wrong with seafood boils, but I'm just saying, like, we have to put ourselves in a position to win. Simple at the end of the day. And if you're clouding your brain with eating so many low vibrational foods and not, I'm not saying you're doing this, I'm giving an example. Like all of the other things we talked about, find ways to sprinkle that in your day to day. Now, I'm not saying do everything in one day because then after a while it gets tiring, but have fun with it, experiment with it. Another thing you can say, I embrace the process of figuring it out. I know I'm headed in the right direction. It doesn't matter if you feel like you don't. Your feelings, one last thing I want to say. Too many people are too attached to their feelings. And nervous system regulation is probably something that's going to come up in the collective read because I already kind of tapped in. But we have to make sure that we are regulating the nervous system so that way we're not too attached to our feelings. Like in meditation, thoughts should just come in and pass through. Let these feelings come up and ride the wave. Some of y'all attach yourself too much to your thoughts and feelings, and that becomes your identity. And so, if you're going to do that, let's counter that with something positive. I hope that helped.
It did.
Great.
Thanks. Um,
Did you have a question, Sonia?
Can
Hope it's
anybody hear me?
Yep.
Can anybody hear me?
Yes.
yeah.
I don't know what's wrong.
She can't hear us. This okay, while
Oh,
she can you hear us?
I can hear you guys. Yes.
Alrighty. What questions do you have?
I didn't necessarily have any questions. I just wanted to I didn't I'm sorry, my brain. I was talking to my sister. But I just wanted to give like um a little insight on my journey with doing the like identity shifting. And I know basically she was saying, I don't remember exactly what she was saying, but it was something along the lines of like, how does she get over like, that mental obstacle? One thing that I do or I have been doing lately and I feel like it's been working is the subconscious what is it? The little self affirmation tapes, like when you tape yourself saying things and then I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Are you referring to subliminals?
I don't know what's wrong with it. I can't. Is it my connection? I'm gonna just try to fix it. Hello?
Yeah.
This is crazy.
All right.
Okay, I can hear you guys now.
You can hear?
Um, I was just doing the self-affirmation tapes and stuff, and then it was working, but I felt like it was something missing. And another thing that I started doing, so I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but it's a thing called like the Marilyn Monroe effect. Like she literally transformed her entire life and created this character as Marilyn Monroe that we all know. But at first, like that wasn't even her name. That wasn't even how she looked, how she talked, how she walked. Um, and I think what would help with identity shifting is like you said earlier, of course, writing down how that person would act and what they would eat and what they would do and how they would talk, but actually showing up as that person, like waking up every single morning. Even if you live in a one-bedroom apartment with 12 siblings, you have to show up every single day as the person that you want to be. And that's what I've been trying to do. Like I started my hair business, I think May 24th. I went an entire 2 months with 2 clients and I wanted to cry, but I was noticing I was sleeping until 12 p.m. I wasn't cleaning up my hair space. Like, I wasn't even acting like I had a lot of clients. Once I started getting up at 2 hours before my business actually starts, which is 10 a.m., I start cleaning. I started preparing for clients that I didn't even have because I could get a last minute call like, "Hey, could you do my hair?" Once I started showing up and identifying as a six-figure hairstylist, it started to align. I'm not at six figures yet, but I know that it's coming because I've been pushing myself to do so. So I just wanted to share that little bit of insight because I know it can be hard. Like identity shifting is literally easier said than done because it's so easy to say, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna show up, or actually doing those things and actually showing up. But that's all I wanted to say. I don't know why my connection was so wonky.
Yes, no problem. And thank you for sharing that. That was amazing. And essentially, yes, everything that we saying, we have to show up. We have to act like it already exists so we can speed up that timeline of it coming in. So, acting like you know, period. So let's just get into the reading because, yeah, I talked way more than I wanted to, but still hold your questions. So, the collective of the people that are here. So, the first card I have, and I like that this came up after the first woman spoke because it says, work through your fears, new moon energy. It's time to take action, new moon energy, and it's time to release negativity. You have to do it scared. You have to do it confused sometimes. You have to just do it. And I definitely feel like for many of you, I know looking at the calendar, it's like, oh, it's crunch time for the new year. Do not buy into that. Do not buy into that because astrologically speaking, we really only halfway into the year, but we're not going to get into that. Don't buy into like this feeling of being rushed, especially if some of you work in corporate. That energy can make you feel overwhelmed because you have to meet these deadlines or get this done. Things is changing, things is shifting. It's fine. Keep your cool. Make sure y'all have some type of like some type of emotional regulation system or schedule. That needs to be something that you know how to revert to in addition to your day-to-day task. Even if you just start off with what's the easy example? Going on a walk every day. Okay. I also feel like many of you really, if you don't already, you need to create a year plan. This new moon energy, with it being Aries, it's Aries and Scorpio and Capricorn energy showing up. You could have those placements, you don't have to, but with this Aries energy showing up, it is definitely letting me know you need to kind of embrace fresh starts, especially with retrograde being upon us. Anybody from the past coming back right now is a heck no. I swear to God, don't do it. I'm just telling you, can't say I didn't tell you. I'm not saying to not have a conversation with people, but if you're trying to reunite right now, is probably not the best time, but do what you feel. But I'm definitely getting the energy to make a year plan. And then from that year plan, you can break it up. What the heck was that? Something just fell in my room. That was crazy. Make a year plan and then you can split it up into fours or threes. But I need you to have it written down, tangible things that you are going to follow that is going to assist you. Remember, it'll be a lot easier to bring this energy down because even when we're speaking about the quantum, when they talk about collapsing, they talk about into the present, into the now, bringing that energy down from those other realms, writing it is another step in the right direction. Allow yourself, some of y'all want to figure it out so damn bad. That's not how it works. That is not how it works. Along the way, you're going to meet people who are going to give you this launch, or you're going to run into people that's like, oh, wow, I was just talking, I was just saying, doing. That is the flow. It's like you step forward with your best foot, and the universe is going to meet you halfway. Spirit God, whoever you pray to is going to meet you halfway. But y'all have to make sure y'all stepping forward, stepping foot with this energy, okay? I'm definitely seeing right now it could be a time where you're being met with some resistance, right? And for some of you, this could look like temptation, or this can look like triggers. Temptation of somebody like, nah, man, let's just do this. You ain't gotta, nah, let's just no. You have an agenda to complete. Some of y'all don't have to do that to y'all family. No, I can't talk right now. I told my family, don't call my phone. I'm not answering. Simple. I literally move like I'm a millionaire because it's like I'm busy. I can't talk because it's gonna get to that point. Simple. Y'all have to start moving like that. Stop waiting for it to happen. There's gonna be some things you have to cut off. If you have not cut somebody off, I see something being cut off. And it's something that you already know. And some of y'all probably was sitting in that energy of, okay, yeah, I got to stop doing that. That's that. Cut it off. Because I definitely see stepping forward, there's more balance that needs to be present. This balance is going to root out any indecision. Anything that you are, let's do something different. So I want everybody to think of a yes or a no question. And I'm going to do two piles. And I just want you to pick one or two for your yes or no question. And I'm gonna give you an answer because I'm getting some confusion from the collective. So just give me a minute to pull the card, but I'm gonna give y'all some time to think of a yes or no question. And then you're gonna pick one or two, and then that's gonna be your answer. Use your discernment, okay? Remember, it's gonna be two piles for yes or no. Woo. Okay, so I hope everybody has their pile. If you don't have a question, fuck it, don't worry about it because I'm gonna give it to you. So pile one, I'm definitely getting a yes for you guys, right? But it's not with your emotions are literally all over the place, and it's almost like a yes, but you need to prep. You need to really check yourself, pile one. Like Pal one, some of y'all fucking off. I'm sorry. Sorry to say it like that. Excuse my friends. Some of y'all playing right now, Pal one. And it's like if you come into this new season with that same energy, you gonna hit your head. And it's like how many times you gonna keep hitting your head till you have a big fat bruise. And then that's when it becomes that detriment of I'm falling behind. Because you feel like you fall behind because you've been playing this timeline out for so long. Who are my Pal ones? Who in here Pal one? One. Oh, I know y'all cameras off. Okay. I feel like y'all know what this is, but it's also this energy. I feel like if y'all have not already, you will be separating yourself from a crowd. I have this Virgo energy showing up with like alone time, and then I have it partnered with the crowd upside down. So it's like even it's almost like I'm getting a shadow energy, and it's like you're doing a lot of work behind the scenes. Don't sleep on the work you doing behind the scenes. Cause first of all, everybody not supposed to see that yet. Like y'all wasn't supposed to see me what I know what the hell I was doing. Let's just be for real. Okay. Like I remember one time the readings were bothering like when I feel people energy, it gets heavy. I remember one time I was crying because I didn't want to do this anymore. I felt heavy. I'm like, why the fuck am I supposed to do this? And this shit is heavy. This isn't a gift. I had to mend my relationship with what I was doing. And so, Pal One, this is giving me a message of any frustrations right now on your journey you need to shift it. It's like it takes time, it takes reflection, it takes inner work to be able to mend that relationship. It takes patience, it takes maturity. It's like spiritual maturity is really important for you before you can be ready for this next thing. It's a yes, but it's almost like it's a little delayed. And it could feel delayed because of some of what you're doing, what you're sitting in, what you're thinking. Okay. Um, Pal two, Pal two. I'm getting Leo energy. How to I am so I'm gonna be real. I did get a yes, but it is not stable, right? And the reason I'm getting it's not stable is because you are holding yourself back with your thoughts. You see yourself too small. It's like somebody at the edge of the pool, like, yeah, I'm gonna jump. Get in the pool. What are you doing? Go. Like, what are we waiting on? Go. You have to meet your goals, your whatever. You have to start showing up. And some of y'all, it's like you have the confidence, but it's something missing. And I don't feel like it's for me to tell. Now, if this is a person, I'd be able to probably tap in. But I'm getting like literally that. I don't know if y'all saw that card that flew out. It was like, yes, it was upright. This knight in shining armor energy. But it's partnered with a lack of emotional regulation. Your feelings are just like, what? You see yourself too small. And some of you, this could be due to your environment, your family, but I see the emotions being the biggest blockage. And then even with the initial card I have for the full collective, work through your fears. Release this inner, it's time to release this old ass story you're telling yourself how to. It does not matter anymore. You have things to do, you have places to be, you have people to see. Some of y'all, speaking to everybody in the collective, y'all don't realize it is people waiting on y'all to show up. And after a while, if you keep delaying and moving slow, remember, you're not the only one with that similar gift or talent. Some of them, their timeline is gonna be forced or redirected to see someone else because you haven't shown up with whatever you're supposed to do. And I'm not saying everybody has to be an entrepreneur, like whatever skill set you have. Some of you could do hair like no tomorrow. Some of you could do nail, like you have to show up. You think they're gonna be showing up for you and you not even ready? You oversleeping, you not getting up, you missing the gym, you not eating healthy. Nobody want that energy on them. Because regardless, whatever you do for other people, it is an energy exchange. I don't care if you do their paperwork. Imagine if I came on a call like, all right, what's your question? I'm like, what the hell? I don't want my energy read by her. That's the same thing when y'all are doing whatever y'all need to do. You could be coming into the office. Quit. If you gonna do all that, just quit. I'm getting the energy of some of y'all just like you not. It's like don't complain if you're not gonna move. Don't complain if you're not gonna move. That's the energy that I'm getting for some people in here. So just being mindful of that. Okay, I'm probably going to 7:55. So no later than like 8:05, 8:10. I want to shift into the personal questions, but I do want to get deeper into the collective read. So just in case you don't get picked, your question still gets answered. So just give me a minute. I'm gonna get another deck. Then we're gonna tap into the reading. But again, thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate it. It's more to come. Not gonna have no more technical issues. But let's. So I'm about to do a spread that's called what it is, what it is not. Sometimes I'd be like, what it ain't, but what it is not, advice and outcome. This is just to give you clarity on your current situation. Hey, thank you. Yeah, I definitely like this better than live, but I hate going live. I hate going live. Like, I don't know. It's just like, hmm, sorry, I didn't mean to say it like that. I don't want to scare y'all. I think what I'm getting is a reality check for the collective. And so even like I know some of y'all could be fired up after this. I hope so. That was the intention to get y'all motivated, get y'all hopeful, get y'all remembering who the heck y'all are. But I'm also getting a message of this ain't finna be no walk in the park either. Like it's a lot to unlearn what has been embedded into you 20, 30, 40 years, right? Um, but it's a strong message of needing to be honest with yourself. This message is very serious. I'm not gonna lie. Some of y'all could really be trying to make certain purchases or moves that are gonna require a more serious version of you. Literally. Anything else they need to know? Can I get a sign of confirmation for them? Oh, nothing in the love cards. My fault. The marriage card came out in reverse, so I definitely feel like if any I don't okay, so let me say this. If you're single, I see that happening for a minute, not gonna lie. If you are in a relationship, I don't necessarily see that being an issue for you. I see like right now, work, development, personal things are the focus. I'm not saying y'all gonna break up. That's not what I'm saying. Even though for some of y'all that's a possibility, but we're gonna get past that. That's not what we're here for. Um, focusing on the self. I see that like right now, it's like I'm getting an energy of like certain, not just love affairs, but it's something with like just that energy of certain people. You're gonna see it lessen a little minute. And I feel like that's why I was channeling that shadow energy because it's like it get lonely. It gets lonely on the path of being great. You're gonna have to miss out. I need y'all to get ready for that. I feel like the message they want me to tell y'all is like this is not no overnight success because most of the time that stuff not stable anyways. And I'm gonna be real. If you were to have what you really desired and wanted right now, you would kind of fumble it. I'm gonna be real. Or for some of you who do have fame in your path, it's something with that fame that's gonna get to you. Whether it's like maybe the paparazzi chasing you down, you're like, get like it's something where like I could see fame going wrong. I can see like, and it's sometimes like you will get protected from certain light until you're ready. You will get protected from that influx of clientele until you're ready. Because if they was to come knock, hey, you got to squeeze in, hey, you got that, you got that. Hey, can we? Some of y'all are meant to, um, something like I'm seeing somebody at the front of a room. Some of y'all are meant to like be speakers, or for others of you, this could just be a message of needing to speak up about something. There's something where you have to get ready to be seen. If you make content, put your face in your content. You ain't gotta be there the whole 30 seconds, but like when they be like, oh, the face behind the page, start putting your face in your content. That's for somebody in here. But what I also am getting is like there's a little hiccup right now that you need to get over, whether it's a self-belief thing, whether it's a physical. I got the short illness card. So that lets me know you're getting over. And for some of you who are in a relationship, this could even mean like an argument or something with your partner, or like maybe y'all bumping heads, y'all not communicating right. But I'm definitely seeing it's like you getting if you have paperwork to do, please get that done. It's it's something with paperwork or emails that need to be sent out for somebody. Get that done. Don't let that like it's like you could possibly prevent something. So you could prevent a late fee if you notify them now. There's something with like any communications during this time. You want to stay on top of that. You want to put your reminders in your phone. You want to put your notes in. You want to like double check all of that because these are the things that like would be your Achilles heel if you were to get all of your desires right here presented to you. That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm channeling. Okay. What it is not, it's not going to be anything terrible coming up because I said it ain't going to be glitter and gravy. I don't want y'all to take that the wrong way. The sad news card came out, which lets me know this is not going to be anything terrible or bad. Y'all have nothing to worry about, but you do need to get ready. It's almost like you about to go to the gym. You know what you about to get into. We not finna be in here just dancing. We about to work. Okay. Some of you could dance though, like take that how it resonates. And it is not going to happen overnight. That is the strongest message I am getting. When you do get there, you're not finna worry about how long it took. Because let's look at Simone Biles. That girl was like 5 years old. Doing that shit. You think she worried about it now? No, she knows she's in the Olympics now. She knows she's competing now. She knows now is the time to show up. So I need y'all to focus on what you need to do now. Some of y'all could be, and a lot of I have a lot of feminine clients who do this. You be so caught up in the dream, the picture that's deterring your action in the present. I can't, like, you could see the vision clear as day, but the implementation is not present. And we have to get more of that. We have to get more of that consistently. What is this? I'm seeing a phone. It's this communication energy is also very strong with retrograde. It's something like you not hearing back. A certain call you wanted to hear back. Some of you, this could be work related. Some of you, that could even be for one person, but it's something with communication being really weird right now. Literally, I got the letter card, which talks about emails, texts, phone calls. What's a message for whoever that resonates with? What did the collective need to hear? Be prepared for redirection with that. Okay. And so again, on this redirection, I want y'all to focus, but this month, focus on one habit. Some of you, this could be breath work. Some of you, this could be affirmations. Others of you, this could be the gym. This could be your content. Focus on one thing. You're not a freaking superhuman. You could be. I'm going to be real, but we're not going to go there because you're implementing so much. Some of you, you need to stop snacking. And I know you're like, that. She keep bringing up food. Somebody needs to hear this. So the thing is with your snacking, you think it's innocent and it is low key, but like I'm seeing I'm seeing that that's affecting your confidence and your willpower because it tastes good, right? But when it actually digests, that sugar is going to disintegrate and not be of assistance in your gut. Because a lot of times you essentially have like three brains, but we're going to focus on the main two right now. You have that intuition up here and you have that gut feeling. Typically, when this one is clouded, this one will back it up. If this one can't back it up, you're stuck in your head. You're overthinking. You this, that. No, we have to start eliminating these things. We have to treat it like it's not an option. Because I'm gonna tell y'all something. It's almost in this energy of like, if somebody told you, I need you to get up in the morning at 5 o'clock tomorrow, you might not get up. But if they said your whole family's gonna die, y'all gonna be up at 4:30. I need you to put yourself in a position of where it's no option. You have to show up, you have to be there. We have to pick one habit with and kind of go that full stride with it, okay? It's this energy of you not being that disciplined. I need you to force yourself to be disciplined. It is what it is. It's no option. There are also ways you can work around it. So, giving an example, I need you to start seeing past what you're being told. So, for some of you who make content, nowadays everybody's like, oh, you got to post every day. They didn't say you had to record every day. There's ways that you can make your life easier. Some of y'all, with some of the tips I gave, you can do that. Like you can play some frequencies while you brush your teeth or you going to sleep. I'm not telling you to set aside time alone only for frequencies. I want you to start to embed and embody some of this stuff in what you're doing now. And so go to the book for this. It says court official. This court card is pretty serious. For some of you, you could be seeking out legal advice or financial advice, or this could be like an interview. Take that how it resonates. I'm seeing some conflicts management, but for others of you, it's about realizing I need you to trust the process. I need you to trust the process. A lot of times, again, going back to that example of the Tim with the diabetes, 2 weeks in, you come on, we have to measure long term. That's why I want y'all to do that year plan and then cut it down into threes or fours. That way you're able to backtrack where you are. And writing it down in itself is going to do something to your subconscious. One last thing I forgot to say with that writing down. Look at it every day. Look at it every day. Look at it when you wake up. Look at it before you go to bed. Last month, it was like the end of July, I had wrote down the dollar I wanted to make on my content this week. I've already passed it in my payment, not from TikTok, not till 2 weeks from now. You have to write it down. you have to implement this stuff. I'm seeing like I hate to make this stuff sound so serious, but we do have to get serious, like I said before, because right now y'all are in this energy of practicing, right? And you're really practicing who you're gonna be. Now, eventually, like later, I'm not saying if you don't get yourself together now, you're gonna be a fail at life. Absolutely not. But what I am seeing is that it is time to really show up and commit. Because some of you, if you implement it now, 3 years, you straight. Some of you, if you fall off, it'll be 6 years. And so we wanna, I know some people believe in fate, but you can miss your opportunity if you don't wake the fuck up. Okay. Fate, it's only so much God can do to prepare us. If we not preparing ourselves, it's like, what do you want me to do? It's like that story. I can't remember if it's in the Bible now, but it's like some this man was stranded, right? I'm about to switch the deck to get ready for the personal reads. And he's like, oh, don't worry, God gonna save me. So somebody comes, they're like, hey, bro, you need help? He's like, oh, God gonna save me. And after the second person, he ends up drowning, and then he makes it to like the afterlife. He like, God, what happened? I thought you was gonna save me. He like, I sent you 3 people. Some of y'all are getting y'all answers in other people, but you're still looking for a sign. Okay? So remember, it's time to take action, you guys. And I know I'm very serious in my delivery, but I'm still sending these messages with grace and with love, but we have to get serious. We have to get firm and regroup. I know you guys, I'm not expecting anybody to be perfect. I'm not perfect. Y'all see the damn Zoom wasn't even paid for it. I swear I set that up. I'm gonna go double check because if I find out they charged me twice. But anyways, we are about to get into the personal questions. So what I want you guys to do is just raise your hand if you have a question, or you can type it in the chat if you don't want to come on camera. I really would prefer y'all raise your hand because if possible, I would prefer y'all to come off of mute. But if not, it's fine. All right, so this is post class. Originally, I did plan to publicly post the personal questions, but as people were raising their hand and leaving, like the focus was jumping because I didn't have it pinned on me. That was my error. And I'm not comfortable with people's faces or full names showing on my channel because if I was to edit that, that would be too meticulous. I don't really, But moving forward with my calls, if you were in attendance for the call, you will have full access to the call. This is also probably one of the last calls I will post as far as live recording. I might give y'all one other sneak peek, but besides that, the class will be exclusive access only. If you would like to see it, will be, you have to sign up for it, register. But I did want to give y'all a sneak peek of what I have to offer and what I have coming soon. I'm super excited. Honestly, I felt like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a yapper, so I'm like, yo, I'm talking their head off. So I didn't want to go too much into the science, but I had somebody text me like, yo, I wish you'd have went more into detail. And so I'm gonna keep that in mind next time. But and also one last disclaimer, I can't remember if I said this in the part I cut off or not. Moving forward, I will not be answering all questions. That is just a lot on me energetically. But I definitely will do my best to like make it fair across the board. Like instead of, I'm gonna just randomly pick just so it's kind of like fair, But this is my first class. I'm super excited. It was a great experience. I'm super happy that I'm done with it, and I'm just excited to be learning more because what I learned, I'd be quick to put y'all on because we can all grow together. And so with that being said, if you have made it to this part of the video, thank you so much for being here. I'm sending you love, sending you light. Hope to see you soon.